Ross, and welcome back to FCC Knows. Today we're going to be talking about self-injury and self-harm. So with March being Self-Harm Awareness Month and March 1st is also Self-Injury Awareness Day, we wanted to kind of discuss both of these topics just to bring more awareness to the ideas of how are people injuring themselves and what we can do to best support them. So if anytime any of this information is troubling or upsetting and you understand that you are having a really hard time with any of this, please stop the video, call 911, go to your nearest emergency room, or you can also call the Georgia Crisis Hotline or the Suicide Prevention Hotline, and we will put those numbers down at the bottom. So, self-harm is an umbrella term, and it basically refers to different ways that individuals can harm their body. Some of the different categories of self-harm include the eating disorders, risky behaviors, drug and alcohol misuse, and self-injury. So all of these categories are self-harming, and they're really dangerous, and over time they can cause extreme damage to the body. Now what I didn't really know was that there was a differentiation between self-harm and actual self-injury. So self-injury is often referred to as NSSI, which stands for non-suicidal self-injury, and it's defined by the American Psychological Association as a condition clinically known as non-suicidal self-injury, and it's characterized by deliberate self-inflicted harm that is not intended to be suicidal. So this is what we have to really differentiate when we are discussing this, is that people who are trying to harm themselves, they're not exactly going into this behavior with intent to commit suicide. They're doing it as a means of, I'm trying to express emotion, I want to feel some type of emotion because I'm feeling numb. I feel like I don't have a connection with my thoughts. I'm feeling disconnected from other people in my life. So by doing this, somehow it's bringing me back to reality. Now, if we think about brain chemistry, if any of us remember chemistry class in high school, I don't remember much, but this was a good refresher for me. When a person self-injures, the brain actually releases endorphins, and endorphins are our body's natural painkillers. So this kind of gives us that calming and soothing effect. So when a person is upset for some reason and they cause harm to themselves, the body releases the endorphins and the person thinks that they feel better. Now the key to this is that even though the person may be thinking, okay, if I do this, I instantly feel better, this solves my problem, it really doesn't, because over time, just like with any drug, the more you do it, the more your body kind of builds up a immunity to it, it gets used to it, so then that individual recognizes that they're having to almost do it more, they're having to increase the severity, which then can become more dangerous or even fatal. When I was looking at some of the statistics to this, adolescents are actually the most likely to engage in non-suicidal self-injury. About 11% of males will do this, and it's actually doubled for women and children. So definitely something to kind of keep in mind. And Angel, I think you had some good information for how can we support these people, especially if you're a parent or a family member or friend.
So first, before that right there is how you as a parent, you as a friend, you as a spouse, how can you identify somebody's self-injury?
Yeah.
You know, so once again, the individuals that are actually going to be the first one to find out are those closest to the individual. Why? Because you're going to be looking for those warning signs. You know, now there's a difference between warning signs and normality. Okay, so if your child has unexplained injuries, unexplained cuts, unexplained damage to the skin right there, yeah, you do need to go ahead and ask, but it doesn't mean immediately that they're self-harming. Okay, I got grandkids, and some of them are just prompt to hitting the wall. You know what I'm saying?
They fall down.
There you go. They just hit it all the time.
All the time.
There you go. So that right there is, you got to be able to match the behavior, the way that they act, the way that they are into the day-to-day activities versus the injuries that they have. So if they have cuts and they have burns that they are not able to explain, then there's something that you want to be able to keep a watch on. And then if you see them that they're becoming more often, or that they're now trying to hide it because you ask them about it and all that, then that is something that you probably want to seek help for. Right. You know, look for a counselor, a therapist that is going to be able to guide you as to the process of it. Other things to watch, which it is just generally speaking, is if it is 100 degrees outside and the kid's wearing a jacket, the kid's wearing long sleeve shirts. And we say kids, but it's, like you say, it works with all human beings, you know, whether adults, children, and all are there. The same thing with looking for frequent places to hide or being isolated.
Right.
Now, remember that all these things right there not only deal with self-harm, but it also has to deal with, could there be something else going on in their life? So we as parents, we as a concerned spouses, we as a concerned friends need to pay attention to those who we love to make sure that there is not drastic changes on the way that they behave, the way that they act, the way that they care for themselves.
Right.
You know, because even if you don't have, and this deals with actually damage to the skin and things like that, but an individual can actually be doing self-harm morally, emotionally. So we want to be able to keep mind on that. And then after that right there, what is it that you do and don't do? Okay? So definitely listen.
Yeah.
You know, and that's one of the problems that I think that we have definitely in today's society, because we are in technology driven, so we think that everybody's connected and everybody's not. You know, everybody's in their cell phone while I'm trying to talk to you. And it is like you're not paying attention to me.
Yeah.
And this used to be a problem of parents with teenagers.
Right, absolutely.
Now is the problem with teenagers with parents. Because now the parents are hooked up with the cell phones, with technology, and they're not paying attention to their kids, what the kids are trying to do, that cry for help.
Right.
So
Yeah,
you
it's
need
like
to be,
letting technology raise your child for you.
there you go, so you gotta be able to put those things aside and actually be able to listen, okay, hear. Not only the words that are coming out of their mouth, but also how the feeling that is coming out, the emotions that are behind whatever it is that they're talking about.
Yeah.
Don't shame.
Absolutely. I think that's one of the biggest things with self-injury is that people feel so ashamed and they make it feel like, oh, they're probably just thinking that I'm seeking attention by doing this, so my feelings aren't valid. And when
That's
not
right.
given the right information, parents and friends don't know how to best support the other person.
Right. Or maybe someone even has said to them, oh, you know, you just need to grow up, or you just need to be a man, or you just need to act like an adult, you know, instead of being empathetic and trying to understand what's going on with that person.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then it goes to the preaching, right? You know, as parents, and most of us older parents, right? I know that you young parents got it all squared away, right? But we get into the preaching thing, right? We go in there like that, like, stop doing that right there, that looks ugly. You know, you're gonna see years from now that you're gonna regret that, and blah, 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 blah right there, which it is like, really, they're not thinking about the future, they're thinking about now.
Yeah.
And we need to be able to deal with the here and now. And one of the things that you brought up was like, you know, seeking attention.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, many times kids are going to injure themselves, adults are going to injure themselves to call attention, but why is it that they are calling attention too? That is a cry for help.
Exactly.
So we don't need to dismiss it, we don't need to downplay it, and like you're saying, right, it's an age thing right there. Oh, they're going to get over in a couple of years now, out there. You want to address it as soon as you can, okay? So we don't want to shame them. We definitely don't want to go preaching on them. We definitely want to be able to be careful how is it that we express, and we don't push them away where they are.
And I think you raised a good point that it's a cry for help. They're trying to express that they need help in a way that may not be what we consider normal. For us that are not engaged in these behaviors, we see self-harm as, well, why would someone want to hurt themselves? Why would they want to feel pain? How does that really solve their problems? Well, you have to keep in mind that these people who are going through tough circumstances or tough situations and they don't know how to express their emotions, this is the only way that they know how. So when they do come to you and say, hey, I'm engaged in these self-harming behaviors, I need help, don't shame them, don't talk about how what they're doing is, you know, reckless or a bad choice. Say, okay, you know, this is dangerous and I want to support you, I want you to be safe. Let's talk about some other options.
Right.
Now, and that leads to, you know, don't be a Google counselor expert, all right? Don't rely on Google to give you all the answers for the issues that are going on.
Right.
Seek professional help, okay? So once again, you got school counselors, you have counselors just like here in the family center. You got individuals in churches, many of the pastors are counselors, they have been certified as counselors, they have gone through the training. I will lean to say that if they're not, do seek for somebody that is certified, somebody that has received that training, that way they can help and not make matters worse. That is correct.
Definitely.
That is correct. But once again, we all have that available. Don't try to become the expert. Don't think the way that I will handle it. It was me,
Right.
because that person is not you.
Take yourself out of the situation.
There you go. So pay attention to them, listen to them, be empathetic, don't judge, understand that they are at a certain period in their life, a stage in their life that maybe you don't understand, and maybe you don't need to understand. You need to be able to have the professionals understand that and guide that person through those steps right there. So.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining and discussing all of this stuff with us today. So again, if you or someone you know is struggling with self-harm, self-injury, please utilize the resources. We will put them down in the description box, and check back next time for any other mental health topics that we're going to be discussing. Thanks.